online support program, Class 9, Week 11, Lesson 9, Subject Biology. Textbook Biology, page number from 118 to 120, Unit 7, Bioenergetics, topic Oxidation, Reduction, Reaction and ATP. Objectives. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to revise oxidation, reduction, reaction, redox reaction, example of redox reaction, ATP, the cell's energy currency, and structure of ATP, reaction of ATP. Oxidation, reduction reactions. Various life processes in organism involve constant flow of energy. You all know different kind of processes are carried out in the human beings, in the animals, in the plants. So, how these processes are actually carried out? These processes are carried out by the constant flow of the energy. What does the constant flow of the energy means? It means that we are watering the plants, they are getting the nutrients from the soil and they are getting the sunlight, and with the help of all of these things they are making their own food. So they are making their food with the help of the process of the photosynthesis. In turn they are also capturing the light energy, right? So when animals feed on that plant, so that energy is transferred to the animals, and when we eat the animals and when we eat the meat of the animals, so the energy is transferred to us. So in this way a constant flow of energy is involved, right? So now where we are using this energy? We are using this energy in different life processes, like in our growth, in movement, in reproduction. All of the energy is being processed by these processes, right? So for all life processes, oxidation, reduction reactions, the redox reactions are the direct source of the energy. So all of the life processes, these are the life processes, the growth, movement, reproduction, these are the life processes. So they are actually involving the oxidation, reduction reaction. Another name of the oxidation reduction reaction is the redox reaction, right? So the redox reaction are the direct source of the energy. Now, what is the definition of the oxidation reduction reaction? Actually, loss of electrons is called oxidation and the gain of the electron is called the reduction. Or we can also say that the loss of the hydrogen is called oxidation and gain of the hydrogen is called the reduction process. Redox reaction involve exchange of electrons between the atom. As I have told you that it is actually the gaining and the losing of the electrons. When electrons are lost, so we will call that reaction as oxidation. When the electrons are gained, so they are known as the reduction. Electrons can be an energy source. I have told you about the gaining and the losing of the electrons. Actually, this is oxidation reduction reaction. So electrons will be the energy source. How electrons will be the energy source? Its totally dependability is upon the location and arrangements of the electron in an atom. Now I will be explaining these 2 points with the help of an example. Now when they are present in oxygen, they make stable association with oxygen atom and are bad energy source. If one oxygen atom is making an association with another oxygen atom, so that association will be very much stable. So it cannot be a good source of energy. If one thing is stable, so how it can release or how it can give energy or how it can produce an energy, as it is already in a stable association. So if one oxygen is combining with another oxygen, so it will be a bad source of energy as it is forming a stable association. But if we drag the electrons away from the oxygen atom, so then it will be a good source of energy. Like if one oxygen atom is attached to some another atom like carbon, hydrogen, so they will make an unstable association. If they are making an unstable association, so then in this way they will be able to release or give energy. Redox reaction In living organisms, redox reactions involve the loss and gain of hydrogen atoms. I have discussed it earlier that it is actually the gaining and the lossing of the hydrogen atom. Redox reaction actually involves the gaining and the lossing of the hydrogen atoms. We know that hydrogen atoms contain one proton and one electron. It means that when a molecule loses a hydrogen atom, it actually loses an electron. So this will be oxidation. Whenever hydrogen loses its electron, so that will be oxidation. If it is gaining any electron, so that is the reduction. You can see a diagram, right? Like compound A loses electron. You can see that it is losing electrons. The A compound is losing the electrons. So when it is losing the electrons, so it is oxidized. But when it is gaining the electrons, you can see the compound B, when it is gaining the electrons, so actually it is reduced. Come towards the next topic, that is ATP, the cell's energy currency. You all know about the ATP very well. It is adenosine triphosphate, and the production of the ATP take place in mitochondria, as we have done it in our chapter number 4 in organelles, right? So the major energy currency of all cells is a nucleotide called adenosine triphosphate. It is the major energy currency because it is providing you a lot of energy as compared to another energy currencies like the NADP or the FADH2. So the ATP is the major energy currency, right? And it is the abbreviated form, and the full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. It means it will be having 3 phosphates. It is the main energy source for majority of the cellular functions like synthesis of macromolecules. Like different kind of synthesis are carried out, right? Different kind of cellular functions are carried out. So the main source of energy is the ATP. Like the formation of the DNA, RNA and proteins take place. So the ATP will be the major energy currency. We are moving, transmission of the nerve impulses take place, active transport, exocytosis, endocytosis, etc. These are the different kind of the processes that are actually carried out in a living organism. So these processes are actually carried out with the help of the energy, and energy is being provided by the ATP. If you are having energy, so you will be able to move. If you are having the energy, so nerve impulses can be transmitted, right? And if we are having the energy, we can talk, we can even see. If whenever you are got sick, or when you are not feeling well, so you have observed that you can't get up from your bed. It is actually there is the reduction in the energy, like you are not having that much energy, even you can talk properly. So the ability of the ATP to store and release energy is due to its molecular structure. Now what is that thing which make the ATP to store and release the energy? So it is the molecular structure. Actually if you look at to the molecular structure of the ATP, so due to the molecular structure of the ATP, it is able to store and release the ATP of the like the 3 phosphates are being attached with the tilt line, right? They are being attached with a tilt line. So in this slide, like if one phosphate is removed from the ATP, so then 2 phosphates are left behind. So that's why it is called ADP. ADP means adenosine diphosphate, means 2 are released in the same way, and the bond between the 2 phosphates will be broken down, and the phosphate will be released, and beside one phosphate will be left, and we call it as ADP. It's mean adenosine monophosphate, AMP, sorry. So it is known as adenosine monophosphate. Look at to this slide. In common energy reactions, only the outermost of the 2 high energy bonds break, like already between 2 phosphate bonding is present, so it will break. When this happens, ATP becomes ADP and one phosphate is released. In this case, ADP is further broken down to AMP and adenosine monophosphate, and in turn one phosphate is left. That's why it is called adenosine monophosphate with the energy of 7.3 kilocalorie per mole. Now cells constantly recycle ADP by recombining it with phosphate to form ATP. Like when the bonds are broken down between the phosphates, so ADP is formed and then AMP is formed, but even then they will recombine with another phosphates to form ATP. The synthesis of ATP from ADP and phosphate requires the expenditure of 7.3 kilocalorie of energy. I have told you earlier that if ADP is forming, AMP is forming, when the bond is broken down, so how much energy is released? That is 7.3 kilocalorie of energy per mole is released in these processes. This energy is obtained from the oxidation of food stuff, all of the food stuff that we are eating. So the energy is actually obtained from the food stuff. So we can summarize that ATP is generated by energy releasing processes and is broken down by energy consuming processes. In this way, ATP transferred energy between metabolic reaction. All of the metabolic reactions are taking place inside the living organism. Some of the metabolic reactions we have already discussed, like inside our body, different kind of reactions are carried out in your stomach, different kind of reactions are carried out in your mouth, different kind of reactions. So all of these reactions are actually requiring ATP, right?